guys, this sucks. I thought I was gonna have a nice video for y'all. I've got the pump back in this thing. I recorded all of that, putting the battery in it, getting it running, testing it, and unfortunately I had pulled the memory card or the SD card out of my new camera, which is set up on 4K, put it in this camera, and I guess it was formatted for that, and when I went to upload it, it didn't work. I tried going into the laptop, changing the settings, and it's just, it can't be done. Now, with that being said, with that camera being set up for 4K, I don't know how that worked, but I guess once I recorded it with this, it messed it up, because I was able to take that card out of that camera, upload it to Filmora, and go into Filmora and change the resolution down to 1080. But for some reason it wouldn't let me take the card out of this GoPro and upload it to Filmora and change it to 1080. So I guess the footage is just gone. Anywho, so back to the story on this loader. If y'all remember the other video, when I first got it, the pump was not working. No, it wasn't working properly. So what was happening is, I've got this covered up in case it rains, because it's, ouch, it's still not finished. This steel line here where that weld is, correct weld now, the old weld had a crack in it, real hairline crack, you could barely see it. But what was happening is, I guess that pump has so much suction that it was sucking air and just turning the hydraulic fluid into foam, just turning it into bubbles. It looked like it was water, it looked like milk, but it was just real fine air bubbles. The air destroyed the pump. So what would happen is, when you drove it, it has a high and a low range here, and then an infinite control on your pedal, the hydrostat. So what would happen is, if you had it in low and was on level ground, it would move, but real slow. If you put it in high, it wouldn't move at all. That's when I found that. So I fixed it, grounded out, re-welded it. I've still got to redo it. I've got all new fittings and stuff to make this look properly, where it comes down in the center of the hole, and I can put a boot on it to seal it like original. Once I got all that fixed, fired it back up, it would actually move in high and low range, but it was still really slow, and I barely had any functions on the boom. It would just barely move. So I knew it was better, but it wasn't right. So I took the pump off, sent it off to hydraulic shop, had them rebuild it. They called me, it was like a month before they got the kit, got it redone, and what it was, it blew a seal out. They got it back to me, I reinstalled it, and now it wouldn't move at all. I lost everything other than the functions for the auxiliaries, I guess you'd call it, for the boom. It would go up and down, I could bucket curl it, but it was real slow. So I called them, they're like, yeah, it's probably not fixable, just bring it back, or we'll give you your money back or whatever. Well, when I took it back up there, the original guy, what had happened is, one took it apart and then one fixed it. Well, the one that fixed it's the one I talked to and said it didn't work at all now, and he said, I'll give you your money back. When I went back up to get my money back, the original guy was there, and he's like, no, it's ready to go. He was just mistaken. I'm like, okay, so here we go, let's get it back. I got it back a week or 2 weeks ago. I just been super busy with work, and I had the opportunity this morning to put it all back in, get it going, or test it and see. The biggest problem was behind this, between this and the pump, there's a huge O-ring. I went everywhere this morning. Of course, it's Sunday, hardly anybody's open. Nobody had one that big. I was able to take 2 of the O-rings I do have and cut them and make one, and I just super glued it. It's not a permanent fix. I guess it kind of could be, but they make kits to make your own O-rings, and that's basically what they do. You have strips of different size material, you cut it to length, glue them together, boom, you got a brand new O-ring. I don't have one of them kits, but I do have 2 O-ring kits with several sizes, just nothing that big. So basically, long story short, I made my own, And I'm recording all of these steps, making the O-ring, putting the pump in, hooking the lines up, driving this thing, and that's when I realized the footage is not gonna upload. So I'm back out here. I mean, I could tear it all down and make a new video like it never happened, but it's a lot of work taking all this apart and putting it all back together. So I hate to say, we'll just make a video going from here on out. I do have the boom lifted up permanently because I'm going to have to take these cylinders and get them repacked. Now I can only do one at a time, but it will bleed down. And plus, I wanted to check the brakes because I have 0 brakes, which it's a wheel loader. I haven't had one yet that actually had fully operational brakes to date. So we need to get in the master cylinder. That lid is completely crusted on there. There's no telling. It's probably full of water, rust, no telling what. But I also noticed there's a fitting down there. You can barely see it. There's no line going to it. And on this side you can see the same fitting, maybe not, maybe you can't see it in the video, but it looks like a piece of the steel line coming out of it. So they probably had leaking wheel cylinders and they just cut them off and bypassed them. I don't know. We'll get into that on another video, but for now I want to set the camera up and we'll get it started, and I'll show you that it all finally works. So that's the biggest hurdle, was getting this thing running and driving again. A few things I got to do. It still needs a head gasket or 2 or 3. I'll probably put all 3 of them on, because you'll hear it when I start it. It's like pow pow pow, and then it clears right up. This hydrostatic pedal, you can see it's rubbing, so I'm probably just going to take and cut a section of that out and have my clearance, because I don't want to bend that rod. It might, I don't know what it would do. It might make the valve open just a little while you're driving. I don't want that. So let's get everything out of the way. We'll get the camera set up and I'll start it and drive it around, show you all that everything does indeed work. Let's uncover our air cleaner. I don't think it's going to rain anytime soon, but it'll also keep critters out. I've got to get one of them little toppers for that thing. So as you can see, we got the driving part down pat now. It's got plenty of power in low, it's got plenty of speed in high. I don't have a throttle, so it's just a set speed right now. You've heard it bog down when I really got on it. I don't know if I'd even want to take this thing full speed with the throttled up any more than it already is. I'm going to try to find a cable, which is a very long one because it goes around here through the split and comes up through here along with the kill for the fuel shut off, because I just got the old manual knob here for the fuel shut off. There's your hand throttle, which it's not even attached here. As you can see, that's broke. The horn button's rusted, the light switch is rusted, the ignition key and start is rusted. None of the gauges work. I'm sure none of these fuses probably work. I need to try to get as much of this stuff going as possible. The e-brake handle is locked up inside there. I need to pry that out. Be nice to have an e-brake at least. The two handles for your bucket and loader arm functions work, and it's got a third function for like a grapple. It actually works because you can deadhead the hydraulics. They're just plugged off. I think you can see them. See, yeah, these two fittings here are for your third function, or your remote, your auxiliary hydraulics, or whatever. I would like to plumb into them, put a hole in here, come up somewhere. I don't know how I'd do it. I'd have to run up the arms, I guess, and have just the modern flat face quick couplers where we can put a grapple on there, or have it where you can pin the grapple arms up and put something else, I don't know, or take the bucket off, maybe put a post hole digger or something on it. But I think for now I'll just hardwire or hard plumb in a grapple set of arms for this and make it super handy to have. I got to finish welding the top on. If you'll remember in the last video that was cut and dropped down, you can see how much they lowered it. I know them some ugly welds. That was hurry up and get it on there quick. That's 7018s. It ain't coming off. They had it lowered, I guess, to get in a building or something. Well, even me, as short as I am, if I jumped up in the seat, I'd smack my head on that 3/8 plate roof right on that corner, and it would hurt like all get out. So I'm gonna have that raised back up to the original height, which will be nice. Basically, I want to get this thing fully functional where it'll start right up, which it does, but have it start up with a key, kill it with the pull knob, and have it where you can make money with the thing. And then I'll try to repaint it, maybe even find some decals and sell this sucker. But it needs a lot. It still needs a lot of little stuff. Pins and bushings, some of them got to be redone. The cylinders got to be redone. There may be a few hydraulic lines I still got to replace or redo. Both differentials have to be drained and refilled with fresh fluid, along with the little transfer case or whatever it's got in it. Find out what kind of fluids all that stuff takes. But yeah, the differentials are just Dana 60, so an 8-hole Chevy wheel will fit on them. I'd like to keep them wheels and send them with the machine, but have some pneumatic ones. They're gonna have to be like a heavy ply, maybe like super singles even off a trailer, so that it's got some air, a little cushion to it, because it's pretty rough with them solid tires, and I'll bet they are heavy. But make it a little more off-road friendly. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm sorry all the other footage got messed up where you couldn't see me making the O-ring and stuff like that. If you want, I can do that on another video. But if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe. I've got all this stuff here to get going. The Little Planet Junior, I have a previous video where I got it running and driving, and I bet it'll still, even now, I bet it'll still start up. I sat out here the other day for, I don't know, a week or two. My brother-in-law came over and I showed it to him. He's like, what is that thing? And I'm like, it's a little walk behind tractors, what they made their gardens and stuff with. They even put sulkies on them where you could ride behind them and pull a trailer and all kinds of stuff. I don't like the rope start. I need to get a better rope. I've got a double rope so it don't break. tied to a wrench, because I need to not forget that wrench is out here. And I gave it a couple pulls. She started right up. Matter of fact, we got time on this video. Let's see if it'll do it. I've been sitting out here for probably at least 2 more weeks now. Got a lot of torque. It's the only drawback to these things, they don't really have a slip clutch. I had a few of these old David Bradley walk behind tractors years and years ago, and they actually had kind of a little disc, fiber disc. You could kind of slip them a little bit. This one, you can slip the belt a little, not so much this belt because it's a tooth belt, so when it grabs, but usually also you have it hooked onto something, because when you throw it in gear, the torque throws these handles down. But anyways, that's not bad since it sits out here in the weather. I need to put it up or sell it or something, but I really want to get the sulky for it and get another set of tires that stay aired up, and this would be a cool little rig for somebody. But anyways, back to this video. If you liked it, leave me a like, leave me a comment, share the video. If you haven't already, subscribe, and you'll see videos on a lot of this other stuff coming up. I've got some videos of me out working the skid steer and the new grapple bucket and just general other things. But hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Later.